Hey everyone, Quad Norris here. I'm going to make a video on how to properly balance your DJI style props, self-tightening props. I have here a balancing rod, which is key to getting these balanced properly. Very important that you have your props balanced correctly, or you'll have big issues with vibration, and this will throw off position hold and anything that uses GPS, or altitude hold, because it'll make your air pressure difference inside of your flight controller. I just got this prop today. This is a 5 carver prop. It's really good because the tracking on it does not flex. If your tracking's incorrect, think of it this way. If your tracking's like your prop's pointed this way, so say this is flat here, your hub's flat, and it's pointed up like that, the air is going to go at an angle. It's not going to go down like it should go. So just like on a car, you got 4 props on a quadcopter, and it's very important to have all these functioning correctly, or you'll have really big problems. So we're going to test this. I've never seen, this is advertised as a balanced prop, but I'll guarantee you it's probably not balanced. But yeah, we're going to test it right now and see just how much it's balanced. Okay, here we go. Right from the mailbox today, right out of the package, straight from eBay, fiber carbon prop. And I'm going to show you just how balanced or unbalanced it is. That is by far very much unbalanced and would make a ton of vibration if you tried to fly it with that. Again, these are advertised as balanced. They're definitely not balanced. It's going to take a ton of tape to make that work right. Now let me show you some balanced props. Okay, now I'm going to show you a balance prop, but before I do that, this is a tri-propped, which is obviously different than a double-sided prop. And in order to balance this one, you basically hold it up kind of like this and balance the 2 blades out, so each one of them balances equally. It's a good idea to put some markings like a dot, a small dot, on each blade, maybe 1 for this blade and then 2 for that, in order to distinguish the difference between the blades so you're not sanding on the wrong blade. I like to sand on plastic blades, and the carbon fiber I'm going to use tape for now until I determine it's okay to sand on them. I'm not positive about that yet, so it's still up for grabs. Another thing is, these are, like I was stating before, these are DJI style props, 9450, both of these are, and this style is like what you'd find on a Phantom 3. So this method would work good for somebody that owned a DJI branded Phantom quad as well. Real quick here is a clone of a self-tightening prop. This one is a clone of a 9443, which would be a Phantom 2. The difference here is the quality. You're not going to get as good as tracking. The material's just not as thick, and you can see I put tape on it because I figured it wasn't worth sanding. These are just crash up props here. You could use them for anything, but I wouldn't want to fly with them. Get you some real genuine one. If you don't, you're going to run into troubles. This one here is a balanced 9443, and it's got a metal hub. The newer one, the 9450s, we've got a plastic hub. They're a little bit lighter weight but thicker. A little bit thicker and give you a little bit better tracking. It's the only difference I can see so far. You will get improved flight times over your stock Cheerson props, so that's a good thing. But just a quick demonstration I'm going to do real quick with this one on what a balanced prop, how they work and how they'll run for you. Just tighten up, and if I throw this on this, it should be balanced. In other words, stay. Like that. Now we want to check it on every angle to make sure it's right. This one straight down, and these two balance just like that. Balance just like that. You can check at different angles just to make sure everything's good. Usually if it's starting to move after it's balanced, it's just because it's got momentum. There we go, right like that. You could have a small speck of something underneath your balancer, and that will throw off your level and make bad test results. I'll show you quickly. We'll throw this back on and show you a DJI Phantom genuine prop. Now the carbon fiber are not genuine props. They're clones. And it's obvious too, I can see by the craftsmanship when I've received these today, they're just not legit. They may function better, but they will definitely need a lot of balancing. If you throw those on your quad and you don't balance them, you're crazy, because you're going to have a lot of vibration. And by a lot, I mean your quad's going to be shaking. I don't care what type of dampener you put on it or what else you do. If you don't have good props on your quad, you're going to have troubles, especially in loiter or any type of mode, manual mode. Our manual mode's the only one that you could be able to fly, but it still won't fly that great. Anything else that relied on GPS or barometer, you're going to have issues. See, there's an example of a balanced 9450 prop there. It's good. Of course, these dual ones are a lot easier to balance than the tri ones. So you know, you can get them pretty accurate. A little tipsy, but you know, a lot of it's just because I wobbled when I put it on. But anyway, very important to have the right tools for this. Again, I wouldn't really trust sticking anything else in there that didn't thread to it and hold it there solid, because any type of angle that sits at or whatever, that's going to cause friction and give you a result that isn't correct, and you don't want that. It's going to make vibration, and vibration is just not good for these type of sensors that we run in our quads. This is what I use to sand and take away plastic. This would work great for wood or plastic props. If you'll notice, this one's a real high grit sandpaper, and that would be really good for taking off big chunks of plastic, or it's really just flakes of plastic all at once to get it down to the weight. And then when you're down to the weight, this is good to polish it off, and especially even the fiber and carbon blades. It's good to make sure if you have any pieces on the prop, you want that shape to be right. That's why I sand on the top. You don't want to modify the shape of this. If anything, just polish it off. You don't want to change the shape of your prop, because then you're going to change how the wind flows. Again, it has to be tracked right, and it has to be balanced, or it's just like running around with tires that are jacked up on your car. It's going to cause a lot of vibration. This is good for polishing. I mean, it's just real fine grit, and this is a heavy grit to start it off and actually do the work. These are the type of tools you need. These are just the stock nuts to give this a little bit of weight to balance it out a little bit. Most of the balancing though is done by simply placing the rod across this, and because of its width isn't that great, then it will go ahead and keep a good balance. You know, that's if I get everything right, lined up properly. You could use a can like of a Rockstar or Monster or something like that, but you know, just the main thing is to inspect it, make sure it doesn't have any dents in it or anything to throw off that level. It would be a good idea to put a level across the top of this before you try. Just go ahead and do that. Another thing too is you don't want any type of much surface area. See, this is just a little tiny bit of surface here to create less friction. If you had something that was V-shaped, that's going to cause friction. It's going to rub on the sides of the rod. That's not good. You need it flat. Even if you had it in a couple of bearings, it's going to take some weight to move those bearings. You really think that, you know, the little bits of plastic is going to be able to move bearings? That's not going to happen. You need to get these balanced right. You need no friction at all. Even a slot is not a good idea because it creates friction, and you're not going to have an accurate test. You're not going to know if your prop is balanced or not. What you need is something that's going to indicate weight on your props. Anyway, I just thought I'd share that, you know, for anybody that's kind of new to, you know, playing around with props and stuff like that. Figured it'd be a good idea to show, you know, and show just how far off stuff that you can buy is. I have not had one prop yet that was perfect. Not one. I've had ones that are close, but not one prop yet that's perfect. So keep that in mind, and happy flying, fly safe, and most of all, enjoy.